Number 21, solve the equation, and on the left we have e to the 4x minus 1 equals, on the right, e to the third to the negative x. All right, so we can start by first cleaning up the right-hand side here. And so I'll quickly rewrite the left-hand side, equals, and we have e cubed to the negative x. So you have to recall what happens when we have a power to a power, an exponent to an exponent. Well, we just multiply those two things, don't we? So on the right, we really have e to the negative 3x, right? 3 times negative x is just negative 3x. And so now we have our equation e to the 4x minus 1 equals e to the negative 3. And because we have the same base, and this is an equation, this is an equality, we're saying the left-hand side has to equal the right-hand side. And if the base is the same, well, that means that the exponents also have to be the same. So to solve for x, all we're going to do is really, for the moment, ignore the e and simply set 4x minus 1 equal to negative 3x, right? Because again, if the bases are the same and this is an equation, an equality, then the exponents have to be the same. So let's go ahead and solve here. Really doesn't matter what way we want to do this. We can quickly add 1 to both sides, which gives us 4x equals negative 3x plus 1. And we want to solve for x, so let's get x on one side. So we'll add 3x to both sides. That gives us 7x equals 1. And finally, if we have 7x equals 1, we'll divide by 7 on both sides. And so x equals 1 over 7. And of course, I would recommend taking this value, this x value, and plugging it back in to check. So let's go ahead and do that. So first let's evaluate, we know we're working with e, but let's first evaluate what 4x minus 1 is, assuming x is 1 over 7. So we have 4 to the 1 over 7 minus 1. Here we're going to have 4 over 7 minus 1. Again, when you add and subtract fractions, you need a common denominator. Right now this is 1 over 1, so if we have a 1 and a 7, we know our common denominator will be 7. And so really what we have is 4 over 7 minus 7 over 7, which is negative 3 over 7. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all this so we have some room here. Alrighty. So on the left-hand side, if x is 1 over 7, we really have e to the negative 3 over 7. All right, fair enough. Equals, and let's find out what our exponent on the right-hand side will be. Remember, this is really e to the negative 3x. So if we plug in 1 over 7, what do we get? Well, negative 3 times 1 over 7. Well, this one's a little easier than the first one, wasn't it? So we have negative 3 over 7. So again, we end up with e to the negative 3 over 7. Do these two things equal each other? Well, yeah, sure thing. They're clearly the same thing. And so we were able to check ourselves. We first solved for x. We then took that x value, plugged it in, and made sure that the left-hand side does in fact equal the right-hand side. And so number 21, x equals 1 over 7.